In this video, I want to talk to you about how to optimize your course in the Udemy Marketplace. Now, this video has all come out of a conversation I've had with Frank Visciano, who's the head of the instructor team at Udemy, and I interviewed him for episode 100 of the Online Learning Podcast. Now, depending on when you see this video, this podcast episode is going to be broadcast on Friday the 13th of March. I hope there's nothing untoward or insignificant in that date. But there was so much good stuff from Frank that I thought it was worth summarizing it in this video and being able to share some of the stuff with you. Now, the first big takeaway from our conversation is that student engagement is the big thing that they're getting very excited about in 2015. And one of the indicators of that is that in the marketplace, they have removed the numbers of students in the course from the course card. So now you can see the number of reviews the course has got, but you can't see how many students are in the course until you go in to have a look at the course in detail. So what this is telling us is that absolute numbers of students, just as a number, is not driving the algorithm. It's not the thing that Udemy really wants people to pick up on. And therefore, the old strategy of packing your courses full of free students just to get the numbers up, I think is now beginning to look a bit dated. Now, the exception to that would be, in my opinion, is that if it's your first course or second course, perhaps, and you want to actually establish a student body that you can cross-sell to, then actually free coupons is still the best way to do it, providing you can get students in it who are really engaged in taking. If you just get a whole load of guys who are collecting free coupons, they're not going to buy anything off you anyway. So the key thing you have to do is you have to make sure your students are happy and successful. That's what is really motivating Udemy as far as the students are concerned. Because if the Udemy platform gets a reputation of having successful courses on it that make students happy, then more students are going to tell their friends they're going to come to the platform. So it's a bit like Google wanting you to have the best search experience. So you have to make sure that your courses are high quality and impactful. Now, continual improvement then becomes part of this. It is clear that Udemy are going to reward instructors who keep their courses evolving and up to date. And the reward will be better visibility in the Udemy search in the marketplace. So what you can no longer get away with is making one course, putting it on the shelf, completely forgetting about it, and going off and making another course. You need to have a continual involvement and continual activity going on in your courses to keep them current and keep them evolving and adding new content in order to excite Udemy enough to make it a course, to make your courses that they want to see higher up near the front pages as opposed to buried in the back pages. A quick word on titles and subtitles. This is perhaps a bit motherhood and apple pie. But you do need to make sure your titles are polished and accurately reflect the topic and the benefit to the student. And it was clear from Frank that gimmicky or flashy titles are not going to be favoured in terms of search. Now, the learning objectives, and I was a bit surprised a bit, the learning objectives section is actually quite important. And he put quite a lot of emphasis on this because he says this is where you tell us exactly what the student is going to get from your course. And in the past, it's been enough to put 1 or 2 or 3 objectives in, but I would strongly recommend that you spend some time on this section because this is clearly something that is driving the search algorithm. You need to think about what your students' objectives are going to be, and then specifically what your course delivers to the students. It's also worth mentioning, indeed, what it's not delivering, if that's applicable, and that's going to help the student to evaluate whether or not the course is for them. So it's really a case of managing their expectations and then getting your learning objectives correct. And if you're managing the expectations, what you want to do is under-promise and over-deliver. Now, nothing much has changed as far as course descriptions and profiles are concerned. They've always been important. But I do strongly recommend that if you have a keyword phrase in your title and your subtitle, then it appears naturally and organically in the course description. Don't keyword stuff it, they'll spot that a mile. But make sure that it does come up sufficiently that it's going to help load your course when that keyword is searched for. Now, student activation is all about getting students involved in your courses once they've bought them and not just forgetting about them. Now, one thing I've been experimenting with, and I'll share this with you, is a welcome message to students who have bought my course. If I do a big free coupon giveaway, and I haven't done one since Christmas, then I probably wouldn't spend my time doing that. But sending a short introductory message to each student, and I know other instructors do this and have done this consistently, will help you to engage with your students. These students are easily identified from your revenue reports, and you can download that into a CSV format very straightforwardly. So you can just download that CSV, add them to some sort of spreadsheet, and then start messaging them. It's definitely important to keep responding to questions, and if you use the educational announcement tool, which you can 4 times a month per course, which strikes me as being a pretty reasonable ratio, then do so. Do get some interaction going between your students. You will be rewarded for this. And of course, definitely add new lectures and add new material to your courses. Now, Udemy are always screening for student feedback. And one of the things they're being very careful with is the rating and review system, because they are well aware that it has been gamed in the past. And I think the current advice that I would give is that don't leave a rating and a review until you've done at least 50% of the course, because otherwise it's going to look spammy. But this is a very important social proof element of the marketplace now. So you really do need to start building up these genuine, honest, but hopefully positive reviews. And you're going to have to work hard for them. You're going to have to earn them, but they are very, very important. More so now that the student numbers have gone off the front of the course cards. Now, Udemy itself is always conducting, getting feedback. They have these little questionnaires. I'm sure you've all seen them that pop up. They have a little survey which pops up in the middle of the course when the student's taking it. So they're always looking at it, and they also spend time looking at the analytics. So I hope that summary of the key points that came out of my conversation with Frank, of some of the things which you need to be doing to optimize your course to make it be more successful within the Udemy marketplace, is helpful to you. I'll see you again very soon in another video.